I don't really know why I decided to record this today. My grandson placed this camera here almost a month ago. He said, just talk, say whatever comes. Then he left. For weeks, nothing came. This morning felt different. I can't explain why. My name is Arthur Lane. I'm 82 years old. I live in the same house I moved into more than 4 decades ago, in a town that no longer remembers me, and honestly, I don't blame it. I've forgotten a few things myself. There's something I've been carrying that doesn't have a clean name. It's not regret, not exactly. It's more like waking up one day, looking into the mirror, and realizing the person staring back made all the same choices you made, lived all the same years, yet somehow became someone slightly different from who you thought you were becoming. That's what I want to talk about. Not because it will help anyone, I'm past believing that, but because silence accumulates over a lifetime, and after a while, it becomes too heavy to keep inside. I grew up in a modest home near Scranton, Pennsylvania. My father was a quiet man, not unkind, just contained. He worked, he came home, he sat down. As a boy, I promised myself I would be warmer, more present. I was certain I would carry that softness into adulthood. Somewhere along the way, I set it down. I don't remember when. There was no single decision, no clear turning point. It happened the way dust gathers in a room, unnoticed until the light hits it just right and suddenly it's everywhere. I married Margaret in 1974. She was 22, I was 27. She had a way of entering a space as if something new might be waiting for her there. Even familiar rooms felt fresh when she walked into them. I loved that about her. We had 2 children, Lucas, born in 1977, and Anna in 1980. Those early years were loud, exhausting, full, and alive in a way I didn't understand until much later. I was there, physically. Dinners, bath time, weekend errands, school events. I showed up. But showing up and being present are not the same thing. It took me most of my life to learn that sentence. I worked in operations management, not something I loved, but something I was good at. And being good at something can quietly become your entire identity if you let it. I let it for 35 years. There's a version of me from 1986 that visits my thoughts often. We had just moved into this house. Lucas was 9, Anna was 6. Margaret had started working part-time and seemed lighter because of it, something I noticed but never really acknowledged. One Saturday afternoon, I was reviewing paperwork at the kitchen table. Lucas asked if I'd come outside and play catch. I said, in a bit. I said it again later. Then it was dark. Nothing dramatic happened. We had dinner. Life continued. But I think about that afternoon often, not because of what happened, but because of who I was in that moment. A man who genuinely believed the paperwork mattered more. A man who had already begun scheduling what mattered most for later. Later became years. Margaret used to say I was somewhere else. Not angry, not distant, just elsewhere. I didn't like hearing that. I felt defensive. I thought she didn't see the pressure I carried, the responsibility, the weight of holding everything together. And I wasn't wrong, but I used that weight like a shield, not just to protect my family, but to keep the world from touching me too closely. Some habits are inherited without anyone realizing they've been passed down. There was a night when Lucas was about 16. He came home and went straight to his room, skipped dinner. Margaret went to check on him. I stayed seated. She came back and said quietly, "He could use you tonight." I replied, "He knows where I am." I meant it kindly, but kindness without movement isn't enough. Some doors need to be walked through. Lucas is 52 now. He lives several states away. We talk every few weeks. The conversations are polite, familiar, about 10 minutes long. There's love, but from a safe distance.
And I know whose choices built that distance. Margaret and I were married for 41 years. She passed away in 2016. Illness came quickly. 8 months from diagnosis to goodbye. Those months were the most present I had ever been in our marriage, and that truth still shames me. I held her hand. I stayed. I listened. I spoke the way I hadn't in decades. One evening she said, "I've been waiting for you." I told her, "I've been here." She looked at me and said, "I know. That's what I mean." I've carried that sentence with me ever since. There's a specific loneliness in becoming fully present only when presence can no longer change anything. After she passed, my daughter stayed for a while. She tried to talk. I tried to answer. Some conversations miss each other. I don't think I was a bad man. I was reliable, faithful. I showed up when it counted, at least by measurable standards. But there's another measurement I learned too late. Whether the people you loved felt like they could reach you. Now I'm in my 80s. My body slows me down. Sleep comes in pieces. Early mornings are where the thinking happens. I think about doorways, about waiting, about how often I mistook stability for connection. My granddaughter visits weekly. She talks to me like I'm still fully here. I'm grateful for that. She once asked if I had regrets. I told her, I regret understanding things only after they stopped mattering. I don't know what this recording is for. I don't have a lesson, no neat ending. Just this. Life isn't made of big moments. It's made of ordinary days. And I spent too many of them waiting for something more important to begin. Nothing more important ever did. This was it.